The Vercelli Mappamundi is one of 4 large maps which were products of the 12th and 13th century. This map is a medieval European Mappamundi based on the TO mapping tradition. Like other maps of its kind, it was likely a way to provide religious context for the creation and layout of the world. This map is one which has not seen extensive research over time, for various reasons. The origins of this map, such as its author, are unknown, which is a portion of the driving force which led to this underdevelopment. It is, however, known that it is a rotulus map, a vertical roll meant to house a plethora of detail concerning the world's inhabitants and landscapes. Recent scholarship on the Vercelli Mappamundi argues for the resurgence of further research for the map, and the urgency to do so. Throughout this presentation, the examination of the map's initial researchers juxtaposed with their modern parallels will provide insight into why this map is understudied, new initiatives to restore its merit, and what has been discovered by reason of these new research methods. It will discuss multispectral imaging's impacts on the medieval map canon, as well as specific inclusions by the Vercelli Mappamundi's mapmaker and their possible connotations. Through this new insight, hope for the Vercelli's Mappamundi's inclusion in the forefront of medieval map studies becomes favorable. The Vercelli Mappamundi was first mentioned in October 1908 by Carlo Herrera. In this account of the map, it had been torn at the edges but was still relatively legible. In a book published by Carlo Capello, the discussion of the map's timeline provides a new frame for the damages made over time. In 1951, the first known photograph of the map shows the damage as a result of fading, a common form of harm imposed on old documentation. This fading was bordering the map and was majorly on its outer edges. However, as time passed, the map had been described by Capello to be further damaged by humidity, mildew, and plain old time. Capello says that these damages are chiefly the result of a plate of glass overlapping the map in order to protect it from fading past the outer edges. In turn, the sealing of the map generated a humidity which harmed the map further. Modern images of the map show new constructions, as its lower portion, the western Mediterranean and northern Africa, are entirely indistinct. Recent scholarship on the map, such as this, regards uncertainties surrounding the map's first researchers. Translations are being questioned as to whether the information was in relation to the original map, along with its damages, or from the 1951 photograph. Despite the Vercelli Mappamundi being one of the 4 large Mappamundis of the medieval mapping tradition, it is far less frequently discussed since its damages and uncertain relations render it less intrinsic to the canon. Multispectral imaging, or MSI, is a process which is designed to recreate what is unintelligible to the eye. Helen Davies refers to this as a type of digital surrogate, which is well known and easily analyzed. Various images are photographed under different wavelengths of light, which made it possible to decipher more about the Vercelli Mappamundi than before, such as various locations indicated on the map's Western Europe. In 2013, the Lazarus Project traveled to Italy in order to photograph several Vercelli texts, one being the Vercelli Mappamundi. Using UV block filters, the team was able to restore the majority of the map to a full, viable image. This specific instance, brought to light by Davies, was able to display the direct enhancements that MSI has had on the Vercelli Mappamundi. With the restoration of the map, specific, fascinating, and unique aspects of its original state have been more properly researched. An article by Elizabeth E. Wicks describes the space, place, politics, and religion discussed on the Vercelli Mappamundi with details which would not have been possible prior to the MSI of the map. The images and texts on the map are said not to only add to the specific areas, but also to provide a visual representation of that country's assets. For example, Africa is represented by various large animals, such as lions and leopards. India can be viewed as an elephant pulling a caravan across land which is labeled India. Ethiopia boasts a 4-eyed human. These images indicate fear of the unknown for the author of the Vercelli Mappamundi, as the various beasts and fantastical beings can be inferred to be rash judgment made by the mapmaker in order to embellish that which they were uncertain of. Recent studies also examine the possible politically charged images displayed on the map. In what is labeled France, a person wearing a crown is seen on an ostrich holding a whip. This has been determined to either be King Philip II or King Philip III, and is a metaphor for the king's false stoicism, along with a rule by forceful hand. Capello argues that these details of France were the most accurate of all the map's regions. Unfortunately, they have since been damaged and are now illegible. The map also references the influence of the Church on a 12th century society. It includes various religious locations and images, such as the cities of plains and Noah's Ark. It also, like many medieval Mappamundi, includes paradise. Its location is a traditionally eastbound one, in the center next to India, displayed as a cross within a square. In a description of the map, there is a wall of fire surrounding the cross and reaching to the sky, keeping unwanted visitors out of paradise. With all of this insight into the specific details of the Vercelli Mappamundi, it is essential that it takes precedence once again with the other three large medieval Mappamundi.